Hi, Meir Ezra here, and I'm talking to you from heaven, Cape Town, and today I want to talk to you about Corona's truth number 8. So, I know that you probably already know that there's increased number of people that has been found to carry the coronavirus. And the question is why? How come? Well, how come is that they're doing more tests. That's how come. The truth is that if you take the graph of number of tests that has been done and put it on top of the number of new cases, you will see that it's matching 1 to 1. The same kind of trend, okay? So the problem is not that there is, or what you see is not increased number of cases, but increased number of tests. That's number one. Number two, when you look at the number of cases that we have of coronavirus, I can tell you for sure that the number is at least 100 times more, if not 1,000 times more. I am sure that there are at least 30 million people that sick with coronavirus right now, or has been sick. So what do I mean? Most of the people will get coronavirus, they will hardly feel it, and that's it will go away. They are not reported, they are not counted, but they had coronavirus. The coronavirus touched them. Now, because it touched them and because the actual number is 30 million people, the actual mortality rate is much, much smaller than what they want you to believe. And we will find out by the end of this video why. So the problem is not that there are more and more people that get affected by the coronavirus. It's actually good because it tells you that the coronavirus mortality rate is not so bad. It also tells you that your chance every day that goes by actually improve the chance of handling the situation. Why? Because the more people get affected by the virus and heal from the virus, the more people actually learn how to fight the virus. They develop immune, again, they become immune to the virus, and so the weaker the virus get. Now, if you isolate everyone, you stop this natural process. You don't handle the problem, you just stop that natural process. How do I know that you don't handle the problem? Because half of this planet is in lockdown, and I don't see a reduction in the rates of people that die, and I don't see a reduction in the rate of the people that get infected. There's a slowdown, but not reduction in the people that die. So that's not the handling. So what do we know? What do we know? We know that people that die from the coronavirus generally, or the majority, the vast majority of people that die from the coronavirus had prior illnesses. Now, when you hear prior illnesses, you think about, well, you know, the guy twisted his ankle. No. I'm talking about serious illnesses. I'm talking about heart attacks. I'm talking about heart conditions. I'm talking about the high blood pressure. I'm talking about sugar situation. I'm talking about one to endless amount of other diseases. So if I look at Italy, and Italy was honest enough to do a test and actually promote and publish the test, and they found that from all the people that die in Italy, 25% had one disease, another 25% had at least 2 diseases. So it's like 50% already had 1 to 2 disease, and the rest, 24.2%, had at least minimum of 3 diseases. You understand? So 99.2% of the people that die had between 1 and 3 diseases or more. The rest, 0.8%, they don't know if they had a disease or not. It doesn't mean that they didn't have a disease, it just means that they don't know. So the problem is not the coronavirus. The problem is the existing disease. But the bigger problem is not the existing disease. The real problem is not the disease. The real problem is the hysteria. Why? Because the hysteria convince you that you need to be afraid of your fellow human being. So what it does, what's common to all living things? They live in groups. And so you look at the individual, and the individual get a family, and the family put together, a number of families put together groups like companies or countries, and those groups form mankind. And in order to break mankind, you need to break the group, you need to break the family, you need to break the individual. And how do you break an individual? Only one way. You break him spiritually. How? You make him afraid. The more afraid you are, the less you will be willing to communicate. And when you don't communicate, you don't see. And when you don't see, you have nothing to love, because you cannot see this that you don't love. So what's the problem? The problem is the hysteria. The problem is the social distancing. The problem is the isolation. It is not the solution, because if it was the solution, it will bring a reduction in the death. If it was the solution, China would still be in lockdown. If it was the solution, you would see that there is a major improvement in the situation. And if you look at the numbers, the situation do not improve. The situation become worse. And when you try to solve a problem and your action bring to a worsening of the situation, you know your actions are wrong. So my suggestion to you is to have a look. I say, of course, keep with the law, keep in line with the law, but you need to know that you must not fear. Why? Because if you are afraid, you will not communicate. And who do you think don't communicate? Dead people don't communicate. Alive people communicate, and a lot. Live people communicate, and a lot. So if someone comes to you and tell you don't communicate, it's not important how he looks over the TV. It's not important how expensive his suit is. You need to know that when someone tells you don't communicate, he actually tells you die. I suggest you choose to live. I suggest you will communicate despite the invitation to do otherwise. I suggest you don't be afraid. I suggest you observe. I suggest that you will love despite anything to the contrary. I suggest that you will love for no reason at all. Thank you very much. Meir Ezra, Captain Heaven.